Okay,
Okay,
so
sir.
here, okay, already today we are going to have our fifth session. Okay, so as I
Okay, sir.
mentioned in email, we are going to have complete 25 section, excluding our Saturdays and Sundays. Complete 25 sessions will be there. Okay, and after every 5 session, we are going to release the assignment, 2 assignments. Okay, so nothing to worry. It will be very simple. Okay, so after 5 sessions, you have to. We will give you the assignments. So next coming till next sessions, let us say next slot of the session, 10th session. Before 10th session, you have to submit your first session assignments. Hope you are cleared, participants. Participants.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is how we are playing the strategies. Okay, in the same way, let us say we have completed 10th session. Okay, 10th session. So we will release the another 2 assignments. Okay, so you have to complete that assignment before when we reach 15th session. Understood? So like this, in all the complete 25 sessions, you will be completing around 10 assignments. So after successful completion of those 10 assignments, let us have one. So you have to present yourself. Okay, so you have to present. Maybe out of 10, you can take any 2 assignments and you can explain us. Okay, how you have done that one. So that video recording will be the session will be recorded and that will be forwarded to your guide. Fine, along with the certificate. Participants.
Okay, sir.
Okay, this is how like we are playing in online sessions. Okay, it's kind of in practice for you. Okay, so how to work in online systems. Okay, even you are going to experience. Okay, how to demonstrate yourself on online presentation as well as your project also. Okay. Anyways, I hope almost 8, 9 participants are joined the session. So I think it's the right time to start because today we have a lot of things to cover because in the last session we stuck somewhere in the middle of Lambda function. Okay. So in today's session, we will try to execute some of the Lambda functions and we'll try to integrate one service with the other service. Let us say what I will do, I will integrate Lambda function with S3. Understood. Similarly, next after connecting with the Lambda function with S3, next what I will do, I will connect S3 with SES, email services. Understood. Or I will try to connect that one with IM user. So like this, how we'll start integrating one service with the other services. Okay, so slowly we will come to know how to complete the complete project in AWS by integrating the systems. Understood. So today's session we are going to have these things. Okay, Lambda function. In Lambda function we are going to have IM user, Lambda function, S3, okay, and some concept of SCS. Okay, so here Lambda function RDS, we will have a brief introduction about relational database services, which I'm going to cover MySQL as well as Dynamo. We are stepping into the MySQL. That means your next slot of session will be completely on RDS database systems. Okay, next we have SCS. Okay, so SCS send email services. Okay, it should not, sorry to say, this is not a send email services, it should be simple email services. Simple email services, we'll see how to send an emails, automated generated mails, okay, using Amazon Web Services. Next, let us have continuation, machine learning using SageMaker using XGBoost algorithm. I will briefly explain how to execute XGBoost algorithm using SageMaker. Okay, now most important, when I say Lambda functions, okay, so most of the participant will be having why it is used, what is the productivity, where exactly we can use the Lambda function, right? Yes or no? Where exactly we can use the Lambda function. So have a look on this prototype, okay, or the diagram. So here what I can use the Lambda function in between or intermediator between, okay, Google Ads, Bing, Salesforce, and the Redshift and database system. So generally, let's say the clients are approaching you. Clients are a status, you want to check the status of your digital marketing or your ads. Okay, so event will get generated from here. Okay, and those events will be passed. So obviously those events have, we try to store in the database services. No, so here I'm using Redshift here, database systems. So if some event is getting generated here in Google Ads, so that event will be passed to my Redshift using Lambda function. Understood? The same way, let us say Bing, from Bing one event is getting generated, or let us say the client is approaching you, or you have any type of an event. Okay, that will be passed to Lambda function, and again it will be stored where? In the Redshift. Salesforce also same thing, event. Now what problem happens here is, say at a time Google, you are getting an events, you are generating an events from Google Ads, Bing, Salesforce. So at a time, okay, so we cannot store in multi-tasking method in the Redshift. So sequentially all those events should be passed to Redshift. Okay, so that's a reason to send sequentially and to manage all those events, we will be using the Lambda function here. And as far as Lambda function executions are concerned, all the executions takes place in the background system. Okay, so let's dive into hands-on session. Next we will see, okay, the concepts like SCA, how to use SCA in Lambda functions, etc, etc. Okay, so let me share my screen of AWS function. I hope you can see this screen. Students, sorry,
Yes, sir.
intensive, I hope, yeah, you can see the screen. Fine. Here, this is the platform where we can create the Lambda function. Okay, so Lambda function here, by hitting on this create function.
It is not available.
Yeah, any doubt?
Screen is not visible.
Screen is not visible.
No.
Other participants? Okay, now?
Yes, sir.
Now I can see, you can see, right? So this is this is the main dashboard of the Lambda function, where we can write the programs, Python programs, like Node.js programs, even Go language. Go language is also coming up now. Okay, and there are rumors that Go language may beat a Python language, okay, in coming years, because Go stands for Google language. Google is trying to migrate everything using, Google is trying to write all the program using Go language, because they have created that language or the platform. Even the AWS support for Google, Go language. Okay, so next is, this is where I can create the function. But before creating the function, it's important to give the rules, okay, or it's important to give the access permission, okay, to after creating the event. So we should give the permission to execute that event to the Lambda function. So to do that, again, what I will do, first I'll go to IAM user. So you are familiar with IAM user, right? Right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Why we use IAM user? To give the access to due to
Persons.
Yeah, exactly. To give the access to the user, we use IAM user. But in the same way, we can give the access, or we can create the rules even for the events also within the AWS services. So here, hold on a second, it's processing. So till then, yeah, so here, so this is the main dashboard. Already 2 users and groups already have created 13 new, rules are already I have created here. So under this, create click on rules, okay, click on rules. Click on rules here to create the rules. Here you have to click on create rules. Click on create rules. Here, after hitting on the create rules, click on Lambda function. Okay, so click on Lambda function. Next, go to permissions. Next, go to permissions. Hold on a second, it's taking time. Okay, so here we will get all the options. Yeah, here we will get all the options which are required to execute any Lambda function. So what I will do, I'll have AWS Lambda. I'll just type Lambda here. Lambda. Let me type LAM. You will get all the options which are available in IAM rules. Here check for Lambda full access. So we need to check for Lambda full access. Yeah, basic execution we have. Basic, can you see this AWS Lambda basic execution rule? So I'll hit on this Lambda basic execution rule here. Okay, so in the same way, let me check for Lambda full access or Lambda S3 Lambda full access. Hold on a second. Lambda execute I have. Yeah, can you see this AWS Lambda full access? So I have given two rules here. Okay, so Lambda full access, that means I can execute all the programs using Lambda. Next, basic execution rules. Okay, so these two I have given. In the same way, it is possible I can give other rules also, like DynamoDB, okay, Lambda role, okay, all these actions I can perform. Well, let's try to give other access in the later on sessions when we are writing the programs. Next, go to directly hit on set boundary permission. Let me check in set boundary permissions. Create rule without a permission boundary. Okay, so I will have the same thing. Next, go to next tag. Okay, so tags are optional here. Okay, you can see here tags are optional. So I'm not going to modify here. Just click on review. So under review, okay, so here we have to give the name for our rules, and these rules again we will be using in Lambda function. So I'll give the rules be xer xez hyphen intern. Okay, can someone please take note down this role name. Okay, xer xez intern. xez intern. So this is my rule. So rule got I have created the rule. Now under this rule I have two policies, Lambda basic execution rule and Lambda full access. Create the rule now. Create the rule. Hold on a second, it's taking time. So till then we'll hover over to our main Lambda function. Now here the process is very simple. Create function. Create function. This will take you to the next page where I can assign the name, okay, of my function. So here there are three options. Okay, author from scratch, that means from the scratch, from the beginning we can write the programs. Use blueprint or a serverless app repository. So if you are using use blueprint, you will get the ready-made program. Now for the instance of time, what I will do, I will use author from the scratch. Let us say my function name be what function name I can give, xer. I'll give the function name be xer xez test. Okay, test demo. Let me note down this function name. My function name be xer xez test demo. Okay, so test demo. Now runtime. So which program, through which platform you want to write the programs? Node.js runtime, we can use Node.js. We have similarly a lot of other machines we can use. So I will use, since I will use Python programming language, or I will write the program using Python programming language. So I will use Python 3.7, or else you can choose the latest version of Python programming. Yeah, Python 3.8. I'll choose Python 3.8 here. Now next, here under choose or existing rule. So already we have created the rule, no? Students? Okay, execution role. Under execution role, already I have created the role here using I am user, right? Let me check whether it is created. Create role. Yeah, I have already created the role here. Now you can see here, my role be test demo. So just now I have created one role in the name of test demo, not test demo. Role is here. You can see here, Xerxes intern. So I have created the role Xerxes intern. Okay, same role I'm going to use here. Use existing role. Click on use existing role, and here you give the name of the role, and the name of the role be Xerxes intern. Okay, Xerxes intern. Next you create the function. Next you create the function. Hold on a second. If you want, you can add more and more role. Okay, by clicking on this exercise, let us say I want to give the access for S3. So yes, we can give the access for the S3 by modifying this already existed rule. Here, function is free. It's taking time. Function now, the function name Xerxes test demo is getting generated. So hold on a second. Okay, so this is the name of the function here, Xerxes hyphen test demo. So these are the area where I can test, we can save also. So the event, I'll come to this one later once after writing the program. Okay, so this is the area where we generally write the program. So for the instance of time, what I will do, I'll simply uh, run my simple already generated the program. Next we will try to modify this the program. One thing here is generally what happens. So when you are, let us say, when you are writing, I mean when you are running this program, so what happens, instead of executing the entire program, so in lambda function will execute only this definition. Okay, it will execute only this definition. Then whatever the event and the value which are available in this parameter, that will be passed to the next level. Let us say you take the same example. Okay, so you take Google Ads here. So obviously under Google Ads, events will be there, context will be there. So the moment when you are triggering this Google Ads event, okay, so whatever the value which is present in event and the context, that will be passed to the lambda function here. That it will, lambda function will fetch that value from Google Ads, and that will be stored in the database server. Okay, so I'll demonstrate using the DynamoDB how data to fetch, how to put the data in database, and how to get the data from the database using the lambda function. Next is, okay, so let me try to execute the same ready-made program. Let's later on we'll try to modify this. Most important here is, okay, so as far as this program is concerned, okay, handler. Okay, so handler play one of the vital role here. Okay, so here a handler, before executing any program, we need to check, we need to select the handler. So handler will display, we can display here. Okay, under this. So now let me test this, then you will understand. Now here, look at here, handler, the library comes like this: lambda hyphen function dot lambda, okay, and hyphen handler. So this is the library where generally will be stored in the lambda function. I'll demonstrate that one. Test. Let's try to test this program. Test the program. Let's see here. The most important, giving the event name. So the event name be XER demo. Okay, so I cannot use special symbols, XER, and or else I'll give demo, intern demo. Okay, so intern demo. Next, let me pass. I'll keep the key and value same. This key, okay, connected with event. Value is connected with the context. So next, create it. Okay, so now, now the file got created. Next is, let me check boundary concurrency synchronous inversion. Yeah, I will not modify here. Let's just simply try to run this program for the instance of time. Test it. Okay, test it. Now you can see the file name is what? Event name is intern demo. Okay, so I will select here intern demo. So intern demo contains this code. Okay, so here next, the moment when I test it, it will obviously it will run because it is a ready-made the programs. Okay, status code. This is the final result here, and this result will be passed to database. Okay, so you will get the result like this in this fashion. Status code 200. Okay, body, let us hello from the lambda, and let's try to modify. Let's try to give the event name now. So next, what I will do, so you can see the code here also. Next, I want to modify this code. To modify this code, okay, to modify this code, wait, permissions. So again, actions, new version, export, let configure test events. Okay, click on configure test events. Click on configure test events. Now what I will do here, I'll give some event name. Okay, so the event name be, give any name. Let us say event name be India. Okay, India. Okay, India. Let us say my value be Karnataka. Karnataka. In the same way, I'll give England. England. Okay, let's say the value be London. Okay, London. Okay, now next is USA key. USA, let us say USA. USA. Washington DC. I will just write WD, Washington DC. Okay. So next is I have modified my events now. Save it. Save the event. Now next is here we need to modify, like the little modifications are required even in the scales also. So here status code. Okay, so I'm forwarding like 200. So instead of 200, next what I will do, I'll just I will write here status. So the my status is, so whatever the value which is available in the event, that I want to display here, event. Okay, so next bracket and call that key. Okay, key 1, right? So let me have first the key 1 value. Okay, so next is, let me save this. Let me save. Let me test this. Let me test. Now you can see here key error. It's displaying key error. Key error key 1. No,
Sir,
key,
you changed the name, sir.
yes.
Name.
Yes. I have changed the name. The name was India, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's have India. Key name is India. Now save it. Now save it. Test it. Okay, can you see hello world Karnataka? It's showing here. Okay, let me check here. Let me check the, yeah. Can you see, students? Can you see? I passed the key value, right? I have passed the key value India. Okay, and Karnataka comes under India, right?
India.
Hope you are cleared. Okay, in the same way, let's try to have other state. Let me pass other key. Let us have England now. Okay, let us have England. Okay, England, save it. Okay, and test it. Okay, let me check. Yeah, London. Can you see this? This is how, okay, so we are passing the values. Again, you take the same example here. Take this one. Let us say event is Google Ads. Okay, and the information, some information is contained here. Okay, so Lambda what does? Okay, key already will be stored like Google Ads, and whatever the information available, that will be passed to database. Okay, hope you are clear. Okay, so we can use this one in the automation. In background, all those things will be carried out, okay, by the Lambda function. Handling of the database, configuration of the database, taking the events from the different sources. Okay, all those management will be taken care by the Lambda server or Lambda AWS Lambda system. Okay, so using the Lambda function. Now next, let's go to cloud. I mean the RDS. Let's go to RDS. Here in RDS stands for no, not RDS. Let's go to SES first. Okay, SES stands for Simple Email Services. Okay, so now how to create the simple email services? So to create the simple email services, look, go to again. Okay, go to your main console. Once again, go to your main console. Here there are plenty of services, out of which you can check for SES. Okay, SES comes under your customer email. You can simple email services. So click on simple email services. Click on it, simple email services. Click on simple email services. Here, okay, you will get the options like either we can integrate from the domain. Let us say you have one domain name and you want to integrate, let us say info@xyz.com. So we can integrate that domain email addresses also. Now even it is also possible to integrate your general email addresses. First, the moment when they started this SES, at that time we was able to only to send the emails. Okay, so receiving email options was not there, but later on recently they have even added that option also, so we can receive as well as send the emails using SES services. Okay, so why I'm demonstrating this one means, suppose let us say some event has generated using the Lambda or let us say SC in SC buckets. So what I will do, the Lambda will try to trigger that event. Okay, so after triggering the event, so notification should be sent, right? So to send the notification, we make use of email services. That is nothing but SES. Now the pattern, the workflow will be like this. Let us say the data is in S3 bucket. Okay, and that you have created the event in S3 bucket, and that event will be passed to Lambda. So next Lambda, what I will do, again the Lambda I will connect with the SES. Okay, for to sending the notification message. Suppose one event got generated in S3, that will be triggered by the Lambda function. Again, okay, that Lambda function will send that notification, okay, to the user using email services called SES. Okay, now how to create the the email address here, or how to configure the email address, that is important. Go to email addresses. Go to email addresses. Under email addresses, okay, so the concept is very simple. Verify email address. Okay, so to verify email address, you have to mention your email address here. Let me say my email address be xerxez.in@gmail.com. Okay, gmail.com. Verify this email. So we need to verify this. Okay, so the email, I'll get one default email, verification email to my email addresses. Okay, let me check here whether I have received any email address or not. Okay, so let me refresh this again. Let me refresh this. Let me refresh. Hold on. Now you can see here, I have received one email from Amazon Web Services. Okay. It's taking time. Hold on a second. It's loading. So you can see here. Okay, so AWS email address verification request in region Asia specific Mumbai. So that means I have chosen the region Asia specific, the Mumbai here. It's taking time. One second. Okay, so you'll get this link. Okay, so just click on this link to verify your email. To verify the email. Okay, so sender configuration, configuration, yes. Okay, so now the moment when you click on that the link, okay, your email will be verified here. Now let me go to my console. Let me go to the console. Now close this. It's showing verification is pending. Let me refresh this. Let me refresh this. Let me refresh. Wait. Okay. Now it shows that your email address is verified. Now I can use this email address for notification purposes. Okay, whatever the events are generating in AWS, I can use by all those status I can send through this email addresses. Now next is how to send the mail. Okay, so we can send the mail here. Let me try to send one test mail, send a test email. Okay, so let us say I will send it to the same email address xerxez.in@gmail.com. gmail.com. Next is subject is say hello AWS. Okay, so body greeting message. Okay, body, let us say greeting message. Greeting message. Okay, greeting message, send the email address, send test email. So now next, let me verify whether I have received the email or not. To check that, again, I'll go to my inbox. Okay, I'll go to my inbox. Okay, now verification is over. Let me reload. Hold on a second. Let me reload my Gmail account. Okay, it's not showing. One second. It's taking time. Okay, it has not sent actually. Let me try. Hold on a second. Hold on, students. Hold on, participants. Okay, can you see here, participants? Participants?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I'm getting a greeting message, okay, which is from Amazon Web Services. See here, this email addresses. Okay, so why we need to verify means whatever the activity we are performing inside the AWS console. Okay, those emails or those activities, those log files, everything we can send to this email address, that is xer.xyz.in@gmail.com. Understood? So this is what this email addresses we can use for our notification purposes. Hope you are clear with this. Okay, so templates are available, SMTP, dedicated IPs we can use. Okay, sending statistics. Okay, as far as sending statistic is concerned, using Gmail account, you can only send 500 emails per day. Okay, so you cannot exceed more than that. 500 emails is a maximum limit over there. Okay, but as far as AWS is concerned, once the email is verified, okay, per month you can send around, in per month you can send around 80,000 email, okay, from Amazon Web Services. Okay, so that is one type of benefit only, okay, those who are using the Amazon Web Services in corporate sector. Okay, so this I'll keep, this we will try to use as how the days are, like how I'm explaining the concepts, slowly I will try to integrate SES, next S3, etc, etc. Okay, so next is, let's go to next other service called RDS. Okay, RDS stands for Relational Database Services. Relational Database Services. Okay, so this will support for SQL. Sorry, this will support for relational database system, like you have MySQL, let us say DynamoDB. Okay, we have Oracle. Next we have Amazon Aurora. Okay, so all those database where the database systems are available in Amazon Web Services, it will allow using RDS we can create, configure and maintain all these different types of database. Let us like MySQL, DynamoDB, etc, etc. Remember, RDS is not a database. Okay, it is just a platform where we can create, okay, create, modify and handle database system like MySQL, DynamoDB, etc. Okay, now let's directly will go to first. Let's try to see DynamoDB first. How to create the tables, how to add the values and DynamoDB. Then we try to integrate that one with the RDS. Okay, so concept is same. Go to your main console. Main console here. Okay, under main console, under storage, not under storage, under create database here. Under database, we have the options like RDS, DynamoDB. Next, we have Amazon Redshift. Okay, so the other like Neptune we have. Okay, all these database systems are available. Next, what I will do, I'll hit on DynamoDB. I'll click on DynamoDB. I'll click on DynamoDB. Hold on. Yeah. So this is the main console of DynamoDB. Okay. So total capacity for Asia specific is, so we can have capacity, maximum capacity up to 80,000. Maximum capacity 80,000 queries we can write here. Understood? So next is, this shows the status, like how the amount of data is increasing. So based upon that, okay, it will show the status of your complete machine. Okay, so next directly I'll go to create table. Let's try to create the table using DynamoDB. Okay, let us try to create the using DynamoDB. So let's say my DB name B. Okay, DB name B. Let us say planets. Planets. Key. Let us have planets. This table name already exists. So let us have planet. Okay, planet. Next we have to give the partition key, that means the primary key here. So I'll put keep ID, which is of the form string. Okay, so next is use default setting. For the instance of time, I will not disturb this. I'll keep as it is, default settings. Okay, so next is create table. Create table. Okay, create table. So yesterday I created this planets. That's the reason it was not taking. So already I have created the table called planet. Now under table called planet, okay, so we need to add items here. So to add items, there is an option. Okay, now here, see, but before creating an items here, most important what I want to explain here is, see, minimum it gives a small amount of space. Let us say 5 GB it has given. Understood. Now next, let us imagine that your data is increasing. Okay, data is increasing. In that case, say imagine it has exceeded 5 GB. So the moment it has exceeded 5 GB, it will automatically, okay, so scale up your database system. Let us say you have 6 GB of data now. So from default 5, okay, it will auto scale to 6. Similarly 7, 8 like that. Okay, so auto scaling is possible in DynamoDB, which is one of the best options which is available in our AWS system. Now next is go to items. Go to items. So under items, so we need to add items, right? Participants.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we need to add items, right? So hit on create item. Okay, so hit on create item. Now here, let's say my ID is primary ID is, let us say here my primary ID is, let's say Mercury. I'll list out some of the planets now. Mercury. Okay, Mercury, and the value is let's say Mercury is hot, right? Sizzling hot. Okay, so value of that is sizzling hot. Now again I want to add some more data related to, okay, the plant, sorry, not sizzling hot, sorry, here I have committed again mistake. This should be ID actually. This should be ID, and the name of the primary key should be here Mercury. Okay, Mercury. Next is again go to hit on plus symbol. Okay, append. Okay, use append. Now next, let us have, you can change, you can select any format here of the data type. Let me use a string type. Next is, okay, I will add one more attribute here called temperature. Temperature, let the temperature be sizzling hot. Okay, and save it. Now you can see here one item got created under the table called planet, and the value of planet and the ID is Mercury, and the value of that one is called temp. Understood? So you can, if you are comparing this DynamoDB with the Lambda function, this Mercury is going to be your event, and context is nothing but here the sizzling hot. Okay, so in the same way I'll try to create two more. Let us say the next planet be Venus. Let's say next planet be Venus, and sorry, again I committed here.
ID.
Yeah, ID. This should be ID, and your planet name, let us say Venus. Again, click on plus button, go to append, next to string. Okay, under string, give the value be temp. create one more attribute called temp, and the Venus is extremely hot. Okay, I'll put extremely hot here. Next, save it. Now, can you see here Mercury over Venus? Venus also comes under ID and under temperature. Okay, extremely hot I have mentioned. Spelling mistake is there. So next, in the same way, let me try to create two more here. Let us say Earth. ID is Earth. Okay, ID is Earth. Next, Python plus symbol, append string. Okay, so manually you have to perform here temp. Okay, temp. Next is say warm. Okay, I'll have warm, save it. Okay, so next in the same way, I'll try to add one more here. Let us say Mars. Okay, Mars, save it. Oh, sorry, Mars, let me edit again. Append. Okay, string. Next is temperature. Let us say cold. Save it. Now you can see for the data. Okay, so planets data I have already, which is stored in the planet table. Okay, so next is this is how. Now in next session we will see how to integrate this DynamoDB data with Lambda. Okay, so next using the Lambda, next see how to send the notification using SES. Okay, so that we will see. Now next is, let's go to RDS. We need to manage this, right? Okay, so to manage this, we will be using another service called RDS. Now go to, let me create this one in a new tab. Go to RDS service. Go to RDS service. Hold on a second. Okay, here go to services. Under database, there is an option called RDS. Hold on a second, it's taking time. Intel, I'm audible, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, hold on a second. Yeah, so here we will get, okay, so the moment when you hit on this RDS, you will be redirected to this the page. Okay, say here it will ask you to create the database. Okay, so to create database in the sense, okay, first we need to create the database. Next, okay, so we need to apply RDS system. Okay, so here directly I'll go to create database. Create database. Now here you will get two options here. First, under two options, first is to choose the creation method. There is one option called standard creates. Another option is called easy create. Easy create is meant for training purposes, for the beginner purposes. Okay, for the beginners. So for the production purposes, testing and deploying purposes, we will be using the option. We will be choosing the option called standard create. Understood? So next is it will ask, it will give the engines here. Okay, so as far as AWS is concerned, it gives us six options. Six options to execute our query using the engine, out of which one is called MySQL. Okay, next is called MariaDB, PostgreSQL, Oracle, next Microsoft SQL Server. Okay, but Amazon claims that okay, Amazon Aurora, this is designed by the Amazon AWS, the provider. So they claims that Amazon Aurora is 5 times faster than these things, these structure SQL engines like MySQL, MariaDB, Postgre, Oracle, as well as Microsoft SQL. But it gives an option. Either we can integrate MySQL, MariaDB, or Amazon Aurora. Aurora we will see later. Okay, first let's try to install MySQL engine. So what I will do, I will choose MySQL engine here. So the moment when you choose MySQL engine, you will get the options like different versions you will get here. Okay, different versions of MySQL engine. So the latest version here is MySQL 8.020. Okay, so here if you are an administrator, okay, so you have to communicate with the IT developer or the testing or deployment team. Okay, so you should ask if they are using MySQL, you should ask, okay, you should confirm in MySQL which version they are using. They say deployment or testing team, they will say like we are using MySQL 5.6.48. So in that case, you cannot configure your MySQL by using the latest version. Let us say MySQL 8.0.20. So based upon their recommendation, you have to choose the version of your MySQL services. First, let us say the company is using 5.7.21. Let us say the deployment and testing team say that we have all the options which are required for our company in 5.7.21. So in that case, you choose MySQL 5.7.21. Okay, so after choosing this, next, hold on. Hold on. Yeah. Now I have chosen. Hold on, something went wrong here. Yeah, so I've chosen. System is very slow. Okay, I have chosen the version like 5.7.21. Now next is it will display. You can check all the issues. What are the limitations related to this 5.7.21? Next is options. It also provide an options of templates of SQL, MySQL. Okay, so here again decision. You should take the decision here whether you want to deploy your MySQL under production department, okay, or development or test department, or free tier for the trading purposes. Okay, so the major difference between these three is in free tier what happened. Okay, so you can use this option for trading purposes or to, let us say, okay, you are practicing. Okay, for those purposes we can use this free tier MySQL architecture or the template. Same way, okay, this too comes under production, this actual operation level in the company, where let us say the product is under design. Understood? So when the product is under design, obviously you will be configuring the database system. Okay, so while configuring the database system, okay, using the AWS, you can choose development and testing. Understood? So when the product is under testing or development, we can choose this option. In the same way, if the product is under operational level, let us say people are visiting, they are fetching your data, okay, they are uploading their the informations in your systems. Okay, so that data will be stored again in the MySQL server. So that comes under the production department. The major difference here is, okay, if you are choosing free tier, it gives you 1 GB of RAM, 1 GB of CPU. In the same way, in due test, okay, the higher version, let us say 2 GB of RAM, 2 GB of CPU will be given. In the same way, like how you are in the production department, what happened? It will increase again. Okay, so how much amount of data you want. Now next is settings. These are the general settings, generally what we do while configuring your MySQL. So here DB instance identifier, let us say database 1. Okay, the name of the database be database 1, I'll keep. Okay, and next comes the credential settings. Admin, either you can set as root or you can set as admin also. There are two options to generate the password. Okay, auto generated password. So auto generated password also you can create, or you can create the master password. So here what I will do, I'll create the master password be admin, ADMIN, admin. Same thing, admin as a user and admin is a password, or else you can set as a root here. Admin again, I'll set admin. Okay, so next is here instance size, how much amount of size you want. Okay, so here that depends. Here if you see, look at production, I have selected production. Under production, okay, by default the AWS will give you, okay, around 4 CPUs, I mean capacity, and 16 GB of RAM. As far as space is concerned, there is no limitation, but by default it gives a small amount of space. Next, it keeps on auto scaling as per your data. In the same way, let me try to change the option. Let us say development and test. Under development and test, okay, so here you can see CPU, it has given, one second, let me change, let me put this one later. Okay, let me configure this first. Okay, so here under development, test and development and test. Okay, so it will change here. Once again, standard class. Let us say free tier. Okay, free tier. Under free tier, now you can see here. Okay, 1 CPU and 1 GB of RAM will be given. Understood? And space allocated is storage spaces. By default it gives 20 GB. Later on we can set the auto scaling also. Under auto scalings, okay, we can extend the threshold maximum up to 1000 GB. Okay, so till 1000 GB we can auto scale. Understood? So here let me try for dev test, development test. Under development test, it gives the same. Okay, so it has chosen the machine like M5 extra large, X large, which comes under 4 CPU and 16 GB of RAM. Okay, so later on we can modify. It gives an option to modify also. So for the time being, I'll keep free tier for the testing purposes or training purposes. Okay, so let me set the password be admin, root master password. Again here also I will set admin. Fine, admin. Now next is suddenly see automatically it has changed the CPU. T2 micro it has chosen. You can change if you want. If you want, you can change. If you want other machines, you can choose it. Now next is SSD. Obviously SSD it will use. By default the space is 20. Now we can give for auto scaling also. We can extend this 20 GB to 1000 GB also. Okay, so next is connectivity. So as far as connectivity is concerned, we will be using a default VPC. Okay, virtual private cloud here. Okay, for the connection of VPC. And remember here, maybe I will face problem while collecting this one through the instances, because there the VPC what I have chosen in the instances and the VPC what I have chosen in the MySQL should be same. Okay, so next is password authentication. Okay, so you keep this one as default. You have any doubt, participants? Hello? Hello?
No, sir.
Oh, hello? Yeah, password authentication you keep as it is. Okay, so now create the database. Must be 8 character or more. Let us say admin 1 2 3 4 5. Again here also admin 1 2 3 4 5. Fine. Next is create. create database. Create database. So it's creating the database now. Database of using MySQL engine. This is this database of DynamoDB. Okay, this is of MySQL engine. So hold on a second. It take little time to create the database. Okay. Here it is in the creation process. Now what I will do, I'll go and create the instances. I'll create the instances now. Let's go to services. Okay, let me have one more instance here. Go to EC2. EC2. Next is hold on. Hold on a second. Yeah, one instance is running. So let me launch one more new one. Till then, let me check. Yeah, it's created now. It is still under process of the creating. It's still creating database. It will take little time. Okay, so it has to configure all the engines, all the files which are required for the installation purpose. The next is go to instance, launch instance. Let me try to launch the instance first. Okay, so here from here I will choose Ubuntu 18.04 LTS. Okay, general purpose, configure instance, free tier. Here, VPS, see here. Can you see students, participants?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, look at here. The VPC is there, no, default. So same VPC, okay, so what VPC I have chosen here, same VPC should be configured to here in RDS. Okay, in RDS engine. Fine. So then only it is possible to connect the MySQL with the instance. Otherwise, it will display an error message. Now, in the next is the next process is same here. Okay, enabled VPN metadata is okay. Next, stop. Okay, shutdown behavior stop. Okay, so VPS. I was concerned about VPS only. Next, subnet marks. And subnet is. Okay, default only I'll keep. Add storage. Okay, 8 GB. Next is tag, which is optional. Configure here security group. Select new security group. Description, select existing security group. So I'll use here default security group. Default VPC security group here. Select existing security group. Okay, under that you choose default security group here for VPC security group. Okay, next here is let me check for other security groups. Launch Wizard, WordPress, Vietnami. Okay, so I'm not concerned about those things. So I have chosen default VPC security group here, and you should allow all the traffic. Okay, sources, look at here, all traffic I'm allowing. So I think we need to add one more here called SSH. Let me go to previous one. Previous. Okay, so here, let's go to previous. all traffic, yes, existing all traffic. Anyways, launch it. Okay, launch it. Next, again, hit on launch. Use the existing key pair. Create existing key pair I'm going to use called a internship. Okay, launch it. Launch it. Next is view the instance. View the instance. Hold on. Till then, let me check whether my database is ready or not. Still it is under, yeah, backup, yes. Perfect. So now it is, my database is ready now. Okay, so now what I will do, I'll click on database one. Database one. I'll click on database one. Hold on. Let me check. Yeah. Here we get one ID here. So using that ID, yeah, we can connect this database with the EC2 instance. So here endpoint. Okay, so we need to copy this one and run in Ubuntu server, EC2 server. So let me launch this first. Okay, so I hope this is the new instance. Ubuntu, let me type Ubuntu 2. Fine. Enter, hit button. Now next, connect this. To connect, choose this. This is the IP address. So you know very well how to connect instance. Putty. Go to Putty. Those who are using MAC address, they can run or they can connect directly from the terminal. Okay. So next is copy, paste it. Next go to SSH, auth, browser, under browser, AWS intern. Okay, open. No, it will not open. Let me close this one because it is initializing. Can you see this? Okay, so it is not, we'll wait for some time. So it is now the server is initializing state. So we cannot open that. Okay, till then, let me go to RDS. Okay, in RDS, you can see all the configuration what we did here. So as far as securities are concerned, so this is a VPC by default VPC what we have chosen. Okay, same things 9ABA 37F8 VPC security group I have chosen, which is under activate condition. Port is 3306 from where the data I am fetching. Subnet is, this is the subnet mask. Okay, of this MySQL server. Okay, so this is the endpoint of by choosing this endpoint, we can connect this MySQL with the EC2 instance. Okay, so yeah, now the Ubuntu server is ready. Select this. Sorry, go to Putty. Okay, go to Putty. Next, copy and paste it. Paste the IP address. Next, go to SSH under auth. Go to browser. Intern key, open it. Hold on. Hold on. Error connection timeout. Okay, one second. Hold on. Actions. Connect. chmod internship dot temp. Okay, I'll use putting only. Putting. Maybe because of the network, it's not connecting. Okay, let me copy this. Copy, paste it. Next is auth, SSH, auth, browse. Okay, intern. Okay, intern, open. Hold on. No, I think there is some problem here. Let me try with the other Ubuntu server, Ubuntu 1. Okay, Ubuntu 1. Go to putty. Okay, go to putty. Next. Okay.
Sir, Ubuntu one is stopped now, sir.
Okay, Ubuntu 1 is stop. Instance state start. Why it is not connecting? Ubuntu 2. Putty. Let me try with. Ubuntu 2 now. Again, I'll try one more time. Hold on. Okay. Ubuntu 1 is ready now. Okay. Wait, it is initializing. So till then, let me copy this. Let me paste this one. Next, SSH, auth, intern. Okay, open. Yes, I can run now. Ubuntu, type Ubuntu here for the configuration purpose, Ubuntu. Okay. So now it is configured. This is your private key. Okay, clear it. Next, we have to install. You can take down this command. You can practice after this session. First, we need to install MySQL client. Okay, so through MySQL client, we can access the MySQL using Ubuntu EC2 server. Okay, so to install client, just run the command sudo. Okay, sudo apt get install MySQL client. MySQL client. Okay. Next, run. Hope you have taken this the command. Participants.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sudo apt get install MySQL client. Run this. Okay. So already I have done that package. Already yesterday I think I was trying this. So it has upgraded now. The next is to run. To connect to MySQL. Type the command like MySQL. Okay. -h. Next, endpoint of the database system. Endpoint of the database system, from where I can get, go to RDS. See, under RDS, okay, so copy this. Okay, copy this. Next, go to your terminal, paste it. Paste. Next, give your username and password. So to give username, -u, what was the username? Participants? Admin, right? Okay, admin. Next, hyphen. Next is password P, and the password was admin 12345, right? 12345. Let me try this. Enter it. Okay, it will ask again for the password admin 12345. Now it will not connect because VPC, I have VPC group. This is, I have not configured with this VPC group, with this Ubuntu. That's the reason. But you can try this. Okay, you can try whenever you are connecting this with the RDS server. Okay, so I think we'll wind up here itself.